All right, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about troubleshooting. Because oftentimes we have these massive, elaborate strategies planned out, and we know what we're going to do and how we're going to approach our boss, and how we've got these massive negotiation plans, and then something fails. Inevitably, something fails and doesn't go the way that we planned. And that's when most of us women naturally react in a way that we like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I'm going to recoil, leave the room, and never come negotiate again. This is where I want you to stop, because this is something that we're going to practice here right now on how to troubleshoot when things are going wrong and things are not going your way. All right? Now I'm going to go over three specific case scenarios for you to keep in mind, because they might be somewhat similar to the typical case scenarios you're going to face, all right? And ultimately, with all of these troubleshooting efforts, what we're doing is pivoting. Now, I love the word pivoting because it's just so accurately describes when things are coming down and like lightning. That's a lightning bolt, okay? Coming from a cloud. And it's coming right on you. And you essentially, instead of like staying there to receive it, it's kind of basically going to come down here, and you're going to pivot it into a rainbow. That's my own kind of metaphor. It's sort of cute. But yeah, it's like when lightning comes down on you, what do? You kind of move over and let it bounce off as energy and use it to get things your way. All right, so we're going to do this fairly quickly just because there's a lot of ground to really cover here. Now, in a job interview, usually the worst case scenario here is they ask you about a skill set that you don't have. Now, oftentimes you're going to get asked about, I don't see, say for example, I don't see you having business, or you went to business school, but I don't really see you having that many like business management skills, for example, or your experience doesn't really tell me that much about any particular skill that we're concerned with. And most women, when they go into a job interview, they prepare to explain their lack of experience, which is very different from preparing to pivot from that question onto something else that is something that the job interviewer does indeed need. So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is, if you perceive this as an issue, they're going to perceive it as an issue. If you prepare for this as an issue that you need to explain, they're going to perceive it as an issue that needs explaining. Does that make sense? Now, if you, however, come into the conversation with, this is an issue that is really a non-issue in my head because I've got all these other peripheral skills that are kick-ass, they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, she's got really strong skills. They won't even perceive it as an issue. So this is where I want you to be able to pivot. So say, for example, again, we're talking about business management, for example. You went to business school, but you don't particularly have, I want to get more granular so that I can give you a very solid example. For example, I don't have an accounting software experience, right? And you're going in for a business management position, right? And if they're asking me, okay, you don't have experience with XYZ software, how do you make up for that? I'd say, well, first of all, you've prepared for this, right? You prepared for this conversation beforehand. First of all, I would say, I've actually been taking some online courses on this particular topic, and while it might not currently be one of my strengths, I think that because of my ability to do X, Y, Z, and my comfort level with all these other different things, that could be relevant to this interviewer, of course. I'm not particularly concerned with it being kind of an issue or and I don't think it's particularly a setback, because on one end, you kind of let them know that you're working on it. It's something that you're already addressing and you're becoming fairly proficient at it. But at the same time, you've got all these other things surrounding that particular skill that when the like little block falls into place with that little software thing, you're going to be beyond an asset. You're going to really rock their world. So, not an issue. Again, if they perceive you perceiving it as an issue, game over. If you don't perceive it as an issue, they won't see it as an issue. All right? That's what I want you to keep in mind for a job interview. Now, when asking for a raise or promotion, the biggest setback that I see, or where troubleshooting is warranted, is when your boss says either no because you don't deserve, or no because of budget. Okay. No because you don't deserve it. I always, when asking for a raise or promotion, if you get a no, I want you to prepare for the no, but I want you to prepare for it in context of it's a no right now. It's not a permanent no, all right? And that's a common thread between these two no's and whatever other no that you get. Like, no, corporate won't let me, or anything like that. Like, it's a no right now, and I want you to, when you receive that no, again, remember to cut out all your emotions out of this, okay? And make sure that your body language is on track with you and that you're not giving away a weak stance of energy. You basically, what I want you to say when your boss says, no, you don't deserve it, I want you to say, like, okay, I understand that you feel that I don't deserve it. That said, I want your help. I want to work with you. Again, you're allying with him instead of antagonizing him and telling him, yes, I do deserve it, you jerk. Sorry, but it's my course, I can say those words. No, you don't deserve it. You say, okay, I understand. Echo what he just said or she just said. And then understanding, like, I totally understand that you think that I don't deserve it. That said, I really need your help. Can you help me get to a point where you feel that I deserve it? Now, I know at this point, you're going to be bubbling up inside with hatred. I get it. We just need to channel that energy to a different place. All right? I know that you want to just bust out cry, but that's not going to help you at all. You're not going to get that raise that way. All right? So stay with me here. What do I need to do in order for you to perceive that indeed I do deserve that raise? How do I need to impact my current work situation in order for me to get that to that point? All right. Do you see what we're doing here? We're converting an enemy into an ally. And we want him to see that you deserve it. There's nothing emotional about this. It's just pure rationality. You are playing a mind game, and you need to change this person's mind. It's as simple as that. I know your visceral reaction is going to be like, oh my gosh, you're such a terrible person. I work my heart out, I do these things, and I do all that. And they're going to tell you exactly what you need to be doing. Now, if it's a situation where it's a toxic environment and your boss is just someone that you and him or her don't get along, whatever they tell you is probably going to be something that you can't achieve, right? Because you don't get along with them. And at that point, what I would do is actually probably ignore what they're telling you and work on detoxifying the relationship or finding a new job, all right? Sometimes the environment is just too toxic and your relationship with your boss is too toxic. And that is, for me, a sign of you don't need to settle. That's when you just need to call us, get a resume heist, and find a new job, because your current environment is just not a good one. All right? But if it is a good relationship, you can go to your boss and say, what do I need to be doing in order to actually deserve this raise? And that will give you all the information you need to go back home and rethink, all right, where am I expending too much energy right now that's not getting me to where I need to be going in order to deserve this raise? And you can channel some of that energy that perhaps you were spending too much time organizing files that you should be actually using and doing more of what they told you here, right? So reassess where you're expending your energy so that you can pivot that no into a yes in a couple months down the road, all right? And when you leave this conversation, I want you to leave with a timeline. So you've said, okay, no, but is there anything that I can do, or how can I go? Don't say is there anything I can do. Just be direct about it. How can I get myself to deserve that in your eyes? And take that feedback and say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do that, or I'm going to work on that. Can we meet again in 2 months or 3 months to have this conversation again and see how I'm tracking? Don't leave opportunity for them to decide whether or not you're deserving it, all right? Don't ask if it's a possibility. Be direct about it and say, can we meet again in 3 months to track where I'm doing and how I'm going about it, all right? So the next, when you're asking for a raise or promotion, the next big no that people get, oh, we don't have it in the budget. This one is usually kind of like a cop-out, but ultimately, the way I want you to pivot this one is by saying, all right, I totally understand that we don't have the money in the budget right now. That said, I would like your help, again, partner with them, to help me figure out how I can help bring that into the budget and what I can do to increase our company's bottom line so that I can actually help us have that budget for me to get the raise, all right? Again, very rational, not emotional. I know you're you're gonna be feeling like this visceral reaction when you have the no, that you're just gonna want to say like, okay, thank you for your time, and leave. I want you to stay, hold your ground, hold your power position, and say, okay, I totally understand that it's not in the budget. And that's where you kind of lean in a little bit, right? That's where you say, okay, I understand it's not in the budget, and I would like your help with this. I want your help to figure out how do we get it in the budget? How can I contribute to our company's bottom line so that we can make that be part of the budget? And they'll be like, oh, let me think about that. And you can say, okay, that totally makes sense. Can we meet again in 2 weeks so that we can discuss this? I'll think of some ideas as well. Or, because they'll probably be like caught off guard, right? They'll be like, oh, I don't really know how we can do this. And that's okay. They need their space. They're entitled to be insecure and unaware and be caught off guard. But you are going to give them that space. And then you're going to come back and say, all right, well, let's circle back on this conversation if that's okay with you in 2 to 3 weeks. I'll brainstorm on a few ideas on my end on how I can come up with ideas that will increase our company's bottom line. And you do that. And then you come back. And then it kind of becomes a partnership, more so than an antagonization of your boss not wanting to pay you, right? So then you guys kind of start working together towards your ultimate goal. How do I know this works? I've gotten $500,000 raises for women. Like, these strategies definitely work. And I always tell every single one of my clients, brace for pushback, because it's going to happen. If you're ready for it, you'll be able to pivot it like a champ. And the last piece here, in an actual salary negotiation. So like you're starting a new job and they don't particularly want to pay you what you want, right? So say, they're offering you $120,000, right? but you know that the market will bear 150. You've done all the work with salary coaching for women. We've pulled market pricing reports for you. You have a couple of different other offers, yet you're really hell-bent and because of whatever reason need to take a $120,000 raise, or the job of $120,000. Family situation, the kids or the town in which the job is in is the town that you need to stay in, and therefore, whatever reason. Like, there's always reasons why you need to take a lower paying job, right? But you went to the hiring manager and said, listen, I have a situation here. I really want to take the $120,000 offer. And actually, let me use the example from a client yesterday, all right? She was actually $190,000, and she had an outside offer for $250,000. All right, let's up the numbers because these are more exciting numbers, right? Her current employer was offering her $250,000 raise because they realized that she was a bit of a flight risk and that she's such a high performer that she was getting offers from outside to get poached. So she found this opportunity at $190,000, which is a spectacular opportunity. Work remotely, work however many hours you want, as long as you get your job done. Like, they're totally cool. It would give her spectacular quality of life. So many good non-compensation perks, part of it. However, $190,000 was definitely a pay cut, all right? So she tried to pit this offer that her current employer, she was at $200,000, and her current employer was trying to say, like, all right, listen, we really want you. We know that there's other people out there kind of offering you. They didn't really know what the other people were offering, but we want you to stay. So we're going to up your salary to $250,000. And that's a huge, huge jump. Like $50,000, that's a lot of, that's people's salaries right there, like just those $50,000. So $250,000 is a huge number. However, the company the startup that she was moving to was only offering $190,000, all right? And they were like, we can't really offer you more than that, but we're offering you 30,000 stock options or something that in the long run could sort of be equivalent to that. So, and they were offering her a starting bonus. I think it was 30,000 sign-on bonus. Okay. So they were like, well, we can't really offer you anything above $190,000 right now, but we really want you. And she really wanted this job. So the few things that she did that will actually eventually get her to the $250,000, she said, listen, I know why you want me, and you understand too the caliber of my talent when my own employer is willing to raise me up to $250,000 just to retain me. I know you understand that. And because of that, here's what I'm proposing, all right? Let's keep the stock options. In fact, can we grow those stock options to $50,000 and roll in that sign-on bonus to bring me up to $225,000 or to $225,000. I don't know why I put a comma there. Bring me up to $225,000, all right? And within a year, and actually, I think we kind of set the ground between 8 months and a year. She's going to see how that conversation goes, or she was going to see. I know it went well. Obviously, this happened yesterday, so we don't know where it's going to play out, but it went well. I don't know if the timeline she ended up using is 8 months or 12 months, but she got it. She essentially said, I want to be reevaluated within 8 months or 12 months to get me back to this point. Because I know what I'm going to contribute to you and your organization is worth, and then you can insert, like in this case, how many millions of dollars is going to be brought to your bottom line. And this is why I'm pretty certain that in 8 months, you won't have any qualms in retaining me, again, keyword, retaining me, for an extra $25,000. She got this, And she's working on the timeline. I mean, she got the 250 in the longer term. So right now, she's at 225. Within 8 to 12 months, she will be at 250. She'll get all the perks that she wanted. She has even more stock options. Problem solved. Again, she didn't walk away and just accept this. She pivoted that no, that rejection, onto where she needed to go. So, ultimate goal, as I just said, pivot. Pivot that no into a yes. No into a yes. All right? Now, I know that there's millions of circumstances out there. Every single negotiation is very different. But as long as you know that you need to pivot, it'll come naturally to you if you've done your homework. How to actually pivot. All right? So I want you to practice and figure out negative case scenarios and how to move forward. And here, well, I wasn't certain if I wanted to include this, but I want you to start practicing this, all right? Not just in negotiations, but in general. When you are in a circumstance that warrants pivoting, I really want you to give it a try, not just in your negotiations. It's kind of like with body language and stuff. The more you practice pivoting, the better you get at it, okay? So, takeaway. Should I go on this side? No. This side. This is where I'm being told to stand. Okay. Takeaways for this. Always brace for pushback. You're always going to be prepared for pushback. Second, prepare your weak spots. So prepare for those rejections and how to pivot from them. Practice how to turn a no into a yes. All right? So that is your strategy for success. And if you have any questions, I want you to send them to us, ask@salarycoaching.com. Now, I often receive questions of potential case scenarios, and I'll be happy to go over them with you. You just know how to reach us, send me your questions, and I will answer them live for you.